Yeah. So, first SCP of the night is one of my big top favorites. SCP-354, aka the Red Pool. Alright. Item SCP-354. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Due to SCP-354's immobile nature, Area 354 has been built around it. Area 354 houses forces and D-class personnel, prepared to deal with threats emerging from 354, as well as researchers studying 354 and its properties. For their own safety, non-on-site personnel are to approach 354 at any time. Direct interaction with 354 is permitted only with the purpose of research to eliminate 354 and must be approved by O5 personnel. Area 354 was constructed to contain and neutralize any and all further threats emerging from 354. At the heart of Area 354, a 20-foot wall of concrete reinforced with data expunged has been constructed around 354 to prevent emerging entities from escaping into the area at large. High-speed motion detection cameras are placed on top of the wall looking down into the pool, and armed guards can easily shoot down into the enclosure from catwalks placed above the pool. Alright. SCP-354 is a pool of red liquid discovered in northern Canada. The liquid is of a consistency... Hold on.
You okay? Right?
I thought they were knocking at my door. I guess not.
What happened?
I thought someone was knocking at my door. Never mind.
Oh.
Yeah. Liquid is of consistency similar to that of human blood, hence the colloquial name blood pond, but is not of a biological nature. The pool does not have definite banks, so mixes with the liquid until, at a certain point, there is more soil than liquid and the ground is mostly solid. Liquid becomes denser as one descends deeper into the pool. If the pool has a bottom, it is yet to be reached. Periodically, entities emerge from the pool and attempt to escape from the enclosure. Thus far, nearly all creatures emerging from 354 have been extremely hostile and highly dangerous. 354 is believed to have first discovered and redacted by survivors of a plane crash who encountered 354 by chance. 354 has developed into a local urban legend long before Foundation personnel arrived to deal with the threat. After locating the source of the legend, SB personnel set up Watch Station Epsilon 38 to monitor the pool and deter further travelers from finding it. 354 was classified as Euclid until its properties were further discovered. At 14:03 hours, unredacted, an unidentified entity emerged from 354. Contact with Watch Station Epsilon 38 was lost. Mobile Task Force redacted was dispatched to deal with the entity and were eventually successful. All personnel at Watch Station Epsilon 38 were found dead. Area 354 was secretly constructed to contain 354. Document 354-1-A. Partial log of entities to have emerged from 354 prior to event 354-20. SCP-354-1. Original entity which destroyed Watch Station Epsilon 38 resembled a giant bat, neutralized by Mobile Task Force redacted. SCP-354-2. Bear-sized mammalian creature covered in razor-sharp spines, resembled an echidna. Was virtually bulletproof but was unable to escape the enclosure surrounding the pool, neutralized via napalm.
That's a way to neutralize.
SCP-354-3, black metallic sphere capable of levitation, emitted concentration levels of radiation in precisely directed beams sufficient to instantly cripple and later result in death. Then, Area Head Doctor Redacted struck through SCP-354-3 with a sledgehammer, disabling it. SCP-354-3 then self-detonated, causes causing minor structural damage and severely wounding Dr. Redacted. Dr. Redacted made a full recovery and has been commended for his bravery. SCP-354-4, humanoid reptilian creature, approximately 4.6 meters tall, escaped both the wall enclosure and Area 354 altogether. Gunfire caused very little physical harm, was highly ineffective. While Task Force Omega-7, Pandora's Box, was dispatched and was successful in neutralizing the creature. SCP-354-5, data expunged. SCP-354-6 appeared to be a human male of Indian descent, as the enclosure around the pool had not yet been fully repaired. SCP-354-6 was immediately shot before it had a chance to escape. Area Head Dr. Redacted has expressed his displeasure in the rash execution of SCP-354-6, which testing revealed to be identical to an average human being. Data corrupt. SCP-354-14, majority of the creature's body remained well beneath the surface of the pool. 5 octopus-like tentacles were seen emerging from the pool and reached up over the enclosure. Several D-Class personnel were grabbed by the tentacles and pulled back beneath the surface of the pool. After receiving massive damage from gunfire, SCP-354-14 retreated back into the pool and disappeared. No personnel taken by the creature were recovered. SCP-354-15, feline creature composed of a blue-hued crystalline structure, later revealed to be ice, was able to jump above the wall enclosure and was agile enough to dodge most gunfire, was actively hostile and mauled any personnel that engaged it. Subject engaged SCP-354-16 upon its emergence from the pool and was terminated in the fight. SCP-354-16, feline creature composed of a dark red-black stone, later to be revealed partially solidified magma. Gunfire proved most ineffective against its hide. Was not hostile to personnel, did not attempt to escape the walled enclosure until being engaged by SCP-354-15, successfully terminated SCP-354-15 and grew less active as its body cooled. After fully solidifying and having remained motionless since, subject was moved to Dr. Redacted's office for aesthetic purposes.
So it basically was chill until the more aggressive thing came, then beat its ass, and then finished cooling down. That's a life.
Yeah. SCP-354-18, metallic humanoid machine described by several D-Class personnel as a Terminator. Subject possessed a cloaking device rendering it invisible to human eyes. Subject was highly adept at combat and killed nearly 90% of Area 354's guard personnel as it rampaged through the facility. Approximately 6 minutes after emerging from the pool, subject ceased function and powered down. Subject was dismantled and its power cell was disposed of. Subject's remains are under study. Note from Area Head Dr. Redacted. That's thrice now that we've had to fall back on Pandora's Box to deal with the stuff coming out of 354. Abel can't complain though. You can tell he enjoyed fighting 354-11. Maybe we should set up some kind of hotline to MTF Omega-7. Document 354-3-A, Log of Exploratory Mission 354 Alpha. And I had the log up. Right, Exploratory Mission 354F Alpha. Personal log of Dr. Redacted. Our expedition to explore SCP-354, that gaping wound in the middle of Canada, has finally been accepted. The R&D boys have come up with what can be described as a submarine with a drill on it. We know that the pool gets denser as you go down, so we suspect that at some point we won't be sinking as much as digging, hence the huge mining device built onto it. It's not hydrodynamic at all, but we're not really going swimming here. My gut tells me that there's something on the other side of the red pool, and just like digging down up to China, all we have to do is dig down up to it. Personal log of Dr. Redacted. Had a nice long debate with O5 Redacted, who over who's allowed to come. I wanted MTF Omega 7 to come with us for protection, or at least SCP-076, but they won't allow it. Despite the massive damages he continues to cause, they still see him as too valuable to risk losing. That he isn't, immortal or anything. Maybe they just didn't have the guts to ask him to go exploring. Eckler, that ass, wanted us to take SCP Redacted with us, but I wouldn't allow it. The file says SCP Redacted was just born before he came through, so he'd be useless as a guide. There might be some use as security, but that's mostly cancelled out by the fact that he's data expunged. It's probably just redacted anyway. The final crew complement, apart from myself, consists of 3 agents, 2 D-class personnel, 1 geologist, and some guy from R&D who's going to pilot the ship. I already forgot all of their names. Oh, you're a nice person.
I think that's to say he thinks a lot of them are going to die.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even know if he's going to live.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Exploratory Team 354 Alpha. Mission Log Day 1. Rotten start of the day to begin a mission. Rumor has it is that last night there was a total containment breach in some area or other. Then it turns out there's no coffee allowed anywhere inside of Area 354 for some reason or another. And the whole mission almost ended in disaster, when it turns out that they almost forgot to load an extra fuel on board. Who the fuck is running the show around here? Anyway, we're now underway. For a while there, I had a definite feeling of going downward, but now we're dropping much more slowly. Marty, that's the R&D guy's name, says we're sinking at a rate of 10 meters an hour. Apparently at this depth, red pool is pretty damn dense. ET-354A, Mission Log Day 2. Nothing of interest happened, but I learned everyone's names. We have Marty, our pilot, Agent Swanson, Agent Turquoise, Agent 86, Dr. J. MacArthur, Chris Simmons, and Leroy Tucker. Whoop-de-frickin-do. ET-354A, Mission Log Day 3. At about 4:30 a.m., gravity suddenly changed direction. Boy, that was a fun way to wake up. We're now rising rather than sinking, which means we're more than halfway there. ET-354A Mission Log Day 4. We reach the surface. Through the portholes, it's mostly dark, which means it's night. We can't go out yet because, for all we know, the atmosphere could be hydrochloric acid. We've got a shitload of sensors outside the ship analyzing a bunch of stuff, whether the air is breathable, what kind of airborne bacteria we have to deal with, and the simple stuff like temperature. We'll know in 8 hours whether it's safe for human life out there. ET-354A Mission Log Day 5. Turns out the air is totally safe, except it's been night for going on 28 hours now. What's going on? ET-354A Mission Log Day 6. Dawn finally came. The sun was huge and red. I'm a biologist, but I know enough about astronomy to know that we're orbiting a totally different star. Is this a different time, a different place, or a different dimension? Leroy guessed that we're in another place of existence, and I think he's probably closest. The pool on this side is way bigger, more like a large pond or maybe a small lake. The banks are more defined than our side as well. We took an inflatable raft to the shore. Marty and Simmons stayed behind and headed north. The ground here, or at least around the pool, is almost totally devoid of plant life. The only green we saw was some sort of fuzzy moss growing on the ground that looked more like a kind of mold. The ground is grayish tan dirt, and it's like a mixture of sand and flour. Carter said it was some mineral or another, but I forgot what he called it. I half expected all of our electronics to not work out here, but that wasn't the first thing to fail. After about 2 hours hiking across flat, boring ground, the compass suddenly changed direction. Now it points to what we had previously thought to be east. Evidently, this planet's magnetics, is it even a planet, don't work the same way ours do. Not wanting to risk getting lost, we immediately made a 180 and headed back to the ship. I could have sworn the trip back was less than half as long as the trip out. Tomorrow we'll work out a way of navigation that doesn't rely on the compass being sane. ET-354A, Mission Log, Day 7. Lousy night's sleep, the sun never went down. By my calculations, the day/night cycle here seems to last about 43.5 hours, as opposed to 24 hours back home. That's gonna take some getting used to. We agreed on a system of navigation. Firstly, we're going to travel only in a straight line to make sure that we can get back to the ship by simply turning around and heading in the other direction. Unless we encounter some kind of unnavigable jungle, we should be fine. Secondly, Marty's rigged a radio beacon thing. I don't even remember his explanation, but if we're anywhere within 800 miles, his little gizmo will be able to tell us exactly which direction to get back and how far. ET-354A, Mission Log, Day 9. We set out a few hours before the sun was scheduled to rise, but when we got to the shore, we found that the green moss stuff was everywhere. It had grown in mass significantly. My guess is the stuff shrivels up in the sun during the day and expands at night, and sucking in nutrients or something. We decided we didn't want to walk through it, so we went back and waited for sunrise. The sun came up, and we set out again. All stuff was back to its smaller state. It just occurred to me that there's been no wind at all in this place. The result is dead silence. I'm not ashamed to admit that the overall emptiness of this place is pretty scary. We found an area with none of the moss for a few hundred feet around, and decided to camp for the night. The sun is still up, but it's time for us humans to sleep, so I'm calling it night. ET-354A, Mission Log, Day 10. Sometime in the night, which was really daytime. Fuck, this is gonna get confusing. We were all woken by some kind of roar. You remember what the T-Rex sounded like in that old movie Jurassic Park? It sounded a lot like that. Big and reptilian. It was so loud that I was certain whatever was making it couldn't be more than 20 feet away. But when we all got out of our tents, we didn't see anything. The whole area is so flat that we'd see any sort of animal within half a mile or so. But there was nothing. Fucking scary. We packed up camp and continued on. After a while, we stopped seeing the moss stuff. Maybe it only grows around the red pool. And the ground became rockier. In the distance, the land seemed to grow more hilly. I see trees. ET-354A, Mission Log, Day 11. The bare ground has ended, and now we're walking across a vast field of beautiful green grass. It almost looks like a well-mown lawn. The grass seemed ordinary enough until Turquoise tripped over a rock and arose to find his hands covered in several dozen bloody pinpricks, where only the tip of the blade of this grass is incredibly sharp and easily punctures skin. It's no threat to our Foundation-issued boots, but we must all be careful not to fall on it. We came to a tiny stream, really no more than a trickle. Swanson suggests we should fill our canteens, but Leroy and MacArthur wanted to check the water for something or other first. Guthrie took out some equipment. After a few minutes, announced that it's not water, but liquid carbon dioxide. CO2 is usually a gas at this temperature, and it's never a liquid. Most of physics don't seem to be working right. ET-354A, Mission Log, Day 14. Haven't had time to record anything for a few days. We made it to an area sparsely populated by trees. The grass here there was withered and brown, and not sharp enough to pierce the skin anymore. The trees were ordinary, looked like birch, but the leaves were wrong. At some point we lost Swanson. This place is so quiet that none of us really feel comfortable talking, so we have no idea when we lost him. There's a good 8-hour window where he could have gone missing. We called to him, but none of us wanted to split up to look for him. During the night, a tree fell on 86's tent. It wasn't hurt, and none of the gear was damaged, although the tent got mangled beyond repair. 86 swears the tree hadn't been that close when he pitched the thing, and none of us can tell what caused it to fall. The trunk just snapped. We all agreed not to pitch our tents anywhere near a tree from now on. The next day, which was really nighttime, we heard the same roar from a few days ago. It sounded exactly the same as before, and again we have no idea what made the sound, and none of us can even agree which direction it came from. Then it started to rain. We all pitched our tents for the night, this time a whole lot closer together than we had before. The nearest tree is about 300 feet away. MacArthur confirmed that it was actually rain and not more CO2 bullshit. And we set up this final thing to fill our canteens. Leroy donated his tent to Agent 86, and I offered to share mine. Since it's a little bigger than other guys, I asked Leroy what he did to wind up as D-class. He said he raped a couple of people. I think he might have been trying to freak me out, but who knows. Anyway, he's one of the most well-behaved D-classes I've ever met, so I don't think he's going to, say, assault me in my sleep. ET-354A, Mission Log Day 17. Good God, the rain has finally stopped. Everything is soaking wet, including us. Except for the ground. After that much water, you expect it to be muddy as all hell, but the ground beneath the grass is barely damp at all. Perhaps the plants absorb moisture from the ground more efficiently than the ones back home. Or saying that again, perhaps the rain awakened some animal life. Data corrupt. Sion Log Day 25. What seemed to be a huge cliff in the distance turned out to be an artificially constructed wall. It's made of solid rusty iron and stands maybe 15 feet high. To the left and to the right, it goes on further than the eye can see. I can't imagine how thick it is. We have no way around it. We'll have to go over it or through it. We made a camp for the night. We'll work out what to do in the morning. ET-354A, Mission Log Day 26. Leroy jury-rigged some kind of blowtorch thing with our equipment. I swear this guy is fucking MacGyver. We cut a hole in an iron wall big enough for us to go through. It turns out it's only a quarter of an inch thick, but there's another wall behind it with less than a foot between. Apparently this thing has multiple layers. Leroy cut through 8 of them before we finally made it to the other side. The grass on the side is black, not burnt or anything, just a different color. And finally, there's some wind. I was getting tired of data corrupt. Included that coming here was a mistake. We have to turn back. ET-354A, Mission Log Day 39. We passed through the second barrier and we're back to the weird place with the black grass. I half expected the hole Leroy cut through it to have sealed up or something, but it was still there. Thank God, or whoever runs the show in this world. I don't think MacArthur is going to make it through tonight. He lost a lot of blood. ET-354A, Mission Log Day 40. We awoke to find that MacArthur had crossed. We didn't want to do it, but we had no choice but to terminate him. 86 said that something back home might be able to help him. He might have been right, but we couldn't afford to have him slow us down. We only have a few more days until data corrupt. A-48. We made it back to the ship with only an hour or two to spare. The first thing they asked us was what the fuck happened to Swanson, Turquoise, and MacArthur in 86. As if a few dead team members are our biggest problems right now. Marty has this underway, and we're definitely sinking. I just hope they don't. Data corrupt, end of log. This document was discovered in the Central Foundation database. No such mission to explore SCP-354 has yet been suggested or approved. No records of any personnel mentioned in this log exist. The log's origin is unknown.
I think whatever happened that was data corrupted out of those logs was something so bad that a few people dying was the least of their concerns, which makes me wonder what the fuck did they run into to make them go so fast?
Yeah. Also, here's one thing. I do have a theory. I wonder if that wall was keeping most of those entities in that world. because the only bad thing that was happening was the roaring and the tree falling. But the second they opened that wall, shit hit the fan.
That's true. Something horrible probably came and like wiped out a few of them in one swing or some shit. We've seen how crazy some of the things are. You just read some of them.
Yeah, so I think that wall was keeping most of them in, but since they cut it open, they were
Yeah.
released.
So the logs went from the doctor being hopeful to the doctor being like shit, 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 shit.
Yep.
Oh man.
We still got more. Note from Area Head Dr. Redacted, it has been 22 months since the last entity emerged from the pool. Before this, the longest period of time between emergencies was 8 months. I suspect this means one of two things. Either Red Pool has died or powered down, or whatever the correct term for it is, or it is charging up for something big to come through. O5 believes the former is most likely explanation and has recalled 30% of our total personnel and cut 25% of our funding. While I can hope that they are correct, if the latter situation is true, we're soon to face some terrible monstrosity and we won't have anywhere near the force necessary to deal with it. I worry for all of our safety. Hold on, I'm seeing what Bus is doing. Instead of being on his dog bed, he decided to choose my bed. Okay, that's cute.
Oh.
Anyways. Document 354-4, event log 354-20. In the morning of data expunged, the entire staff of Area 354 evacuated the facility. However, the staff also shut down power to the area and took a number of supplies and vehicles from the facility, indicating that the evacuation had not been done due to an emergency. World Task Force Data 12 was dispatched to investigate the cause of the evacuation and, if possible, make contact with area staff. However, before MTF Data 12 could make contact with Area 354 or its evacuees, the area on site warhead was detonated, resulting in the destruction of the entire facility and the deaths of data expunged. MTF Theta 12 was ordered to make contact with the evacuated personnel, and in the event of hostility, was given clearance to terminate any uncooperative personnel. A large convoy of vehicles was taken from Area 354, was spotted heading southward from Area 354 at high speed. Final audio logs from MTF Theta 12 indicate the convoy was made up of Area 354 staff and that the previous chain of command had broken down in its entirety, with armed D-class personnel and research personnel firing upon MTF Theta 12. MTF Theta 12 was annihilated, and no further contact with the former personnel of Area 354 has been made since. Document 354-5, following the total destruction of Area 354, the Red Pool containment site was constructed in its place. Basic maps of the new facility can be found in Redacted and Redacted. Unlike the previous facility, which was focused on research and neutralization of entities emerging from 354, the new facility was devoted entirely to the containment of 354 and entities which may emerge from it, as well as any unforeseen forces which it may create directly. This is due largely to the advisement of the new site head data expunged, who believes that the events of log 354-20 were a result of a psychic or mental attack generated by 354 itself.
That would make sense.
Document 354-6, interview regarding data expunged. Dr. Redacted. Is it alright if I record this? Agent Redacted. Yes, go ahead. Good. Now let's start at the beginning. What happened at the Red Pool containment site? Looking back now, it seems strange that nobody ever suggested draining the pool when Dr. Redacted came up with it. It seemed like such a good idea at the time. What exactly was the idea so appealing? It was a way out. Yeah, SCP entry. I've read what it says. It's a joke. It makes it seem like we had the pool under control. I take it you do not. There's a half-meter slab of reinforced concrete in place over the pool, and yet every time some beast tries to come through, somehow it manages to get loose into the building. People die every single time. I've seen data expunged a man's own intestines. Can you imagine what it looks like, old man? So do you, and of course, to the other people stationed at the redpool containment site as well. Draining the pool seems like a fine solution for the suffering caused by SCP-354. Tear scrapes as Agent Redacted stands up. Stefan, that thing doesn't just. Please sit down. This is going on record. As Agent Redacted sits. So the Almighty approved the draining of SCP-354. And then what happened? They evacuated the non-essential personnel to a location a couple of kilometers away, leaving just basic defense crew and the people who run the experiment. Mostly D-class, plus a few agents to keep things going. And you were among those agents? Yes. How did, how did they go about draining the pool? Tech guys brought in this big pump thing with all these hoses. We retracted the slab, but... What? Have you ever had a dream where it's supposed to be... seems so real, but you knew you were dreaming, and it felt like you had to wake up to escape from it? I could say I have. Yes, you have. We all have. That's what it felt like when we put the hose in and tried to drain it. Everything stopped being real. It was like we had to escape right now. And you were the only one feeling the sensation. No, everyone had it all at the same time. It came from the fucking pool. Please lower your voice. What happened when they activated the pump? We never did. We couldn't. It wouldn't let us. What wouldn't let you? The pool. Please, I ask you to lower your voice. Up until now, it's been content just throwing monsters at us. It's been playing, but now we have it locked up, and we just tried to execute it. Now it's angry. Gods, please restrain Agent Redacted. My buddy measured its banks once and compared them to the photos from its first discovery. You know what he found? Agent Redacted grabs Dr. Redacted. Gods! It's growing. The pool is growing. It gets bigger and stronger every day, and now we've made it angry. Get your hands up! Sedate him. We'll continue this in the morning, if he's lucid by then anyway.
Dang.
Oh, it was also updated this year, of August 4th.
I figured it had to be updated recently. That was nice.
Yeah. I do like how they kept the original picture, though.
Yeah, that's a classic. Growing bigger and stronger, and one day it will take us all down.
Yeah. Alright, ready to rate the thumbnail?
Alright, let's see.
Alright, let me just grab it. There's the thumbnail.
How did they clickbait 354?
We don't even. Only thing we know about the tentacle monster is the tentacles.
They made the eyes more of a thing than the tentacles, even though we don't even know if the tentacles even the eyes even existed or if it had any eyes at all. It literally has an eyeball floating. Also, wasn't there an entire enclosure around the pool?
Yeah.
But they have it open instead.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of psychopath would have it open when it's that dangerous?
Yeah.
How would you rate this?
Give it a 4, because you know why? I can totally see that they just drew 610 in the pool. If you look at it.
Oh no.
You see it, don't you? You see
God damn it!
it.
Oh no!
You can see it,
The Red
don't
Bull
you?
is not connected to 610 in any way. It's its own psychopath. Oh, I hate it. Thank you.
Honestly, which is more terrifying, 610 or the blood pool?
I think. Well, 610 is currently only in Russia, but is still somehow traveling and growing. But the red pool can literally kill everyone whenever it feels like it, but chooses not to.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Also, don't forget about the certain cultists who know a spell to turn them into 610 entities. That's a thing.
At least the cult of the broken god knows how to destroy 610, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I swear, if they add 610 into this video.
I'm going to say Red Pool is more terrifying because not even the cult of the broken god knows what to do with the blood pool. Red Pool. Red Pool. It's not blood. It looks like blood. It has a texture similar to it, but it's not blood. We don't know what it is. The Red Pool.
Wait. Oh no, the first message I see in the comments while looking for the license. Does this mean the submarine exploration would have corrupted the researchers after submerging into the red pool?
Oh no.
So they did the
Oh,
exploration
no.
log.
Please don't tell me they fucked with the doctor. Because the doctor is a good person through the whole thing.
So you got clickbait thumbnail, copyrights the video, no license given. Alright, we
It's
ready?
okay to not have hope that you're going to survive something. I don't blame him. How much hope would you have if you were in his shoes?
None.
Yeah, there we go.
Well, then again, I can live forever.
Well, he gained hope at one point, and then that was dashed after they went through the wall. Dashed like the wall. It was a mistake to break through.
Yeah. Alright, we ready?
Yep.
You can hear it, right?
I can hear it.
Paul, qu'est-ce qu'il y a?
Je sais pas, c'est la première
Oh
fois
my
que je vois
god.
ça.
Saying French people discovered it? Or Canadian?
Well, actually, they
Oh.
were probably saying Canadian. Some Canadian people speak French.
Oh yeah, that's true. But wait, I don't think it was Canadians who discovered it.
Okay, who discovered it? Not Canadians?
I think it was discovered in North Canada. I think it was like some people who came out of a plane crash discovered it.
Huh. I could look it up.
Yeah, here it is. SCP-354 is believed to have been first discovered and redacted by survivors of a plane crash, who encountered 354 by chance.
So instead of doing that, they did fur trappers. Probably the only one of the few ways you can be racist against Canadians.
Yeah. SCP-354 is developed into a local urban legend long before Foundation personnel arrived to deal with the threat.
Because remember, Canada was basically founded by fur trappers, and I guess this Chronicle thing thinks they are all still fur trappers to this very day.
Do you need me to click racism?
Not yet. Maybe I'm wrong. It's not like they're having the Canadians drink a bottle of maple syrup.
That's the next scene. Anyways.
Oh merde!
What?
Putain! Laisse-moi!
They just sped run the creatures.
But can we even call it a speed run? Because the tentacles went back in. Well, yes, we can call it a speed run because there's supposed to be none coming through it that we know of, because none of them were logged until after the Foundation found it, and these guys are fur trappers, not Foundation people. And why would you be fucking camped next to that thing?
Yeah. I clicked added unneeded plot and deviated plot. It's already deviated.
What are they going to do to this stupid fur trapper next? Because let's be honest, he's stupid for staying near it.
Yeah.
Qui est là?
C'est moi.
Paul? Tu vas bien, mon pote?
Oui. Tout va super bien.
That is...
I think they did Skinwalker, which I think you need to put racism.
No, I know what this is from. This is the exact copied monster design of a movie I watched on Netflix. I forgot what it was called. It's supposed to be a windy boy god. Child of Loki. That kind of thing, I think. Which made no sense.
That's not how it looks to me. It looks like a Skinwalker. A Skinwalker doesn't look human, and it can do whatever voice it wants to. It's using the voice of the dead.
Yeah, and this is not a creature. So you said click racism?
Yeah.
Ah!
You can't tell me that's not at least somewhat based off Skinwalker. It's not okay to just throw it in just because. That's not okay.
Yeah.
The object SCP-354, or as it's been called, the Red Pool, was discovered by the Foundation almost 10 years ago. Before that, there were only legends about it, which were told by the residents of northern Canada. We managed to find this anomaly and construct a containment site around the pool. For years, the personnel of that area managed to stop the creatures
So they
spawned
just
by
cut
the
out
Red
the
Pool, but
plane accident altogether.
Yep.
Also, the people, the French. Is it bad that I think the Canadians, the Canadian fur trappers, had better voice actors than literally everyone else so far?
Probably because they hired actual French people, but guess what? They don't even put their voice actors in the description.
I guess $5 is $5.
Yeah.
recently, strange things have started happening at the SCP-354 facility. First, during one of the attacks, a Special Forces soldier was killed. Then several scientists disappeared without a trace. An anonymous message came to the main office of the Foundation from the Red Pool area. I'm bringing to your attention that illegal experiments are being conducted at the SCP-354 Red Pool facility. The facility's employees are in danger.
What?
This is urgent. Please help us. That's why the
What?
You already clicked deviated from the plot, right?
Yes. Where are they getting this information?
I don't know. I don't know.
management decided to send me, Caroline Holt, senior investigator at the SCP Foundation, to look into the case. When first arriving at the site, I decided to talk to the area head, Professor Peter Cross.
Welcome to the facility. To what do I owe the pleasure of a visit from such a high authority?
You tell me, Professor. What's going on at your facility?
Shush, they can hear us.
They? Who are you talking about, Peter?
Have you come to deal with the illegal experiments?
So, it was you who sent that message to the main office?
Right. I was afraid for my life. The situation, it got out of control.
Who are you afraid of? Who do you suspect is dangerous?
Several scientists. I don't know exactly who they are. They're not talking. The Special Forces soldiers are on their side.
Why didn't you inform the Foundation? Why did you send an anonymous message?
They hacked the database's main server and monitor incoming and outgoing messages.
What is
You
happening?
need to calm down, Peter. I'm here now, and I'll deal with it. Just go about your business. Funny thing. Yours?
Huh? Oh, this one. No, a keepsake from my son. He loved collecting robots.
I'm sorry, Professor. I also have a trinket in memory of a loved one. The Memphis Grizzlies. My father loved that team. Don't worry, Peter. I'll put things right. 87 people worked at the Red Pool area, and some of them were clearly wolves in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, hey Jerry, I'm starting to think that more likely you are more correct about being a skinny boy, but I think they're trying to go for Wendy boy, because I think that's where the origin of that story came from, was in Canada, I believe. I think. Wasn't it?
What, Wendigos?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's from Canada, but I do know Wendigos are literally a creature of starvation. But it didn't seem too much like a Wendigo because
Yeah.
that's not really how Wendigos work.
Yeah, I'm saying it because it's a pretty misconception that Wendy boys are just deer human hybrids.
What? Who thinks that?
I don't know, but I see it in horror all the time that Wendy boys are just deer human hybrids. So yeah. Anyways. Sorry, I got off topic.
It's totally alright.
It was necessary to find those who violated the Foundation's protocols. But first, we needed to study the latest events. I went to the area's main server and began to dig into the archives. Incident 354-6, a man of Indian descent came out of the pool. He was immediately eliminated while trying to escape. The results of the autopsy of the
That's a white person.
Yeah, that looks like it could be a pale Indian person, but I don't know how they would know if he was or wasn't an Indian person if they immediately killed him.
Yeah. Well, probably through DNA.
Well, you wouldn't really be able to tell that way either. People aren't really races in the way that like a lot of humans think. Races are a social construct.
Eh.
Unless he has some ID or something that shows that he was of Indian descent, it would be a lot harder.
Mm-hmm. I'm also getting so lost with this video.
the creature. Strangely, some of the data had been corrupted. Okay, what else is there? Incident 354-3. The appearance of a black metallic sphere capable of levitating a meter above the ground. It emitted concentrated levels of radiation in precisely directed beams, sufficient enough to instantly cripple and later result in death.
Here's one thing. I want to make sure that they actually got the creature's name correct. Yep, they did. Okay, I just want to make sure.
The naturalization of the object, an employee died. Christ, again? No data? There's obviously someone trying to cover up their tracks. Incident 354-18. A metallic humanoid machine appeared from the pool. During the battle, it was naturalized and taken to the laboratory. During a detailed examination, human tissues had been...
It looks like a character from a video game. Like, they just took a
It
character.
does.
Yeah, that's not a Terminator. I hate to break it to you, but they look entirely different.
The Terminator doesn't look humanoid in any way whatsoever. It looks humanoid in shape, but that's it. No skin.
Yeah.
been discovered. Part of the face was very similar to an employee from the area. I
No, it
can't believe
wasn't.
it! Why is someone
What?
trying to hide the results? Just then, the alarm sounded.
Honestly, there's technically no evidence at all in any way whatsoever that there's ever been any humans that came from the Crimson Lake thing. The red, you know what I mean? Goddamn, my
There was-
brain, it feels like my brain is slowly sizzling out watching this.
Yeah, well, -6 would appear to be identical to an average human being of Indian descent. So there was one entity that was probably a human. But they were killed.
Well, I don't really count them. You know why?
Why?
They might have been one of the people that tried getting back from one of those expeditions. It was probably from another SCP in a different alternate universe.
Could be. We never know.
Yeah.
Another creature appeared from the pool, incredibly agile and reptilian. It dodged shots and scattered SWAT members like flies.
What?
It was necessary to act, otherwise the creature would leave the perimeter. This couldn't be.
That's a megalomania.
Also, why is there not a wall around the red pool?
I know. You know what I mean by that, right, Jerry?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ancestor to Komodo dragons. That's not a reptilian humanoid. What?
Be allowed
Maybe they
when
think
suddenly
lizards don't have fingers.
Well, they're gonna hate Scalies then.
Right, you don't need to be a scaly to have a list with fingers.
I know, I was making a joke because
I'm a scaly. I know what you're talking about. You little shit.
Damn! Misfire! No, Christ! You've got to be kidding me!
You're acting like
A second before the strike, the fighter shot the creature down.
No, I was just saying to the video, that's literally given us no reason to care about her or her dad shit or anything. Why is it making the necklace fall so fucking dramatic?
Eh.
It was massive. Bring it to the laboratory, quickly! I watched the scientist of the facility dissect the reptile.
Also, I want to double check. I think bullets didn't work. Yeah, very little physical harm, and it was highly ineffective. They had to use Abel from Pandora's box.
Yeah.
So yeah, no. Just shooting it with AKs isn't gonna do shit.
It was incredible, really. A recombination of animal and plant tissues, as
What?
if someone was experimenting with nature. But why wasn't this reflected in the other reports? Some of these lab coats definitely don't want the research results to go public. And I had to find the conspirators.
The Foundation doesn't release anything to the public. What? This...
You know what? At least so far there's no racism or, well, never mind. At least there's no sexism yet. They did racism, but at least there's no sexism yet.
Oh, there. At least there's no race. Oh, wait.
Okay, I was wrong about the first thing. They've done that. They did quite a bit of it.
This video hurts. 'Cause there's so many conflicting things within it.
I'm sorry they did this to the Red Pool.
I couldn't sleep for a long time last night. Had been quite the eventful day. And then I heard a strange noise. What's that? Who gave the fighters those orders? And who is being carried? A birthmark. I've seen that somewhere before. Christ! What's going on? Professor Cross was right. Someone is doing illegal things here. The next day, I told Peter everything. The fighters dragged the body and threw it into the pool. And you know, Professor, I know I've seen this guy somewhere. He had a birthmark, right here.
I don't know of any employees with such a mark, and all the dead are cremated immediately.
Someone is clearly not following protocols.
I assure you, they are up to something dangerous.
Everything
What?
is under control, Mr. Cross. I'll find out who's behind all this. I decided to
I don't know
interrogate
what
all the
fuck is going
scientists
on.
I don't know either.
of the facility who had access to the research. I'd talked to one after another, but no one said anything new. It seemed to me that all the scientists were afraid of something. Tell me, Miss Sparks, do you know anyone in the area who has a birthmark on their cheek?
Yes, I guess there was one, a Special Forces fighter, but he died a few months ago.
But this didn't make sense. Why was the soldier who died a few months ago just now being thrown into the pool? And why did Professor Cross say he didn't know of such a guy? After all, the fighter was clearly under his command. Thank you, Helen. You may go. I was about to leave when I suddenly came across a note that had been left behind. You're looking in the wrong place. Peter Cross is behind everything. Beware of him. Who
What?
left this message? What's going on here?
I don't know.
Seems like they get out of the pool quite often. I ran out to the bank and saw... No way! This can't be happening! The creature that came out of the red pool was just like the bear from my medallion, which I dropped into the water yesterday.
I know which one they're going for, which is The bear-sized mammalian creature covered in razor-sharp spikes resembled an echidna.
Echidnas do not look like bears. They are not bears at all.
Yesterday. Wait! Don't shoot! I need it alive! Take it easy. It's me. Remember? Shit. Can you just keep your stunner ready next time? Let's get it to the lab. I decided to personally deal with this creature, but while we were taking it to the containment cell... What the hell? How is this possible? He was dead! I saw it myself! Hold on.
What?
Professor, where is he?
What are you talking about, Miss Holt?
Why is he lying to me? After all, my eyes weren't deceiving me. I definitely saw the dead fighter.
Who was it? It seems to me you're not well. Go to your room. I'll tell the doctor to visit you.
Yeah, I think you're right, Peter. No way. I know you're hiding something, and I'm going to expose you.
What?
I rushed to the lab to question the scientists again. Whoever wrote that note clearly knows what's going on here. But, strangely, the lab was empty. But the employees themselves weren't there. The creature that emerged from the pool today has come to its senses, but there was clearly something wrong with it. Hey! Where is everyone? This creature, it died by itself. Apparently, objects from the pool can't live above the water for long periods of time. I had to...
Where are you getting this information?
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, only information where it has like a time period with the Terminators because his battery ran out.
And we were all happy it did.
Yeah.
find the missing scientists. But no matter who I asked, no one had seen them. They couldn't have just disappeared into thin air like that. I went back to the database server and went over the surveillance footage. And got it! I knew it! Where did you take them? Let's see. I watched as the fighters led the scientists through the empty hallways, and suddenly the video was gone. Someone was deleting all the records from a remote terminal right at that moment. No way! Are you covering this up, you bastards? Where should I look for them now? And then I remembered that all the employees of the area were implanted with heavy-duty tracking chips.
Should I do added
You can use
violence
them
to all
to
the
find
weird
anyone,
shit
no
they're
matter
adding?
where he or she is. I quickly ran the
Just like sending people to
Yeah.
die.
Somehow added violence, yeah.
identification numbers of the missing scientists. There you are, in the crematorium. You have nothing to be afraid of. Come on out, we need to talk. But there was only silence. And then I found them. Or rather, what's left of them. 5 scientists were simply eliminated. Alive.
Those trackers would have been burnt as well.
Yeah.
What?
Caroline Holt, identification number 704. I am announcing an alarm at the Red Pool facility. I demand a support unit. That's it. Work at the facility was stopped until further notice. In case of an emergency, I had the right to take leadership into my own hands. Professor Cross was placed under arrest and locked in his office. Goodness, I'm so exhausted. I need to get some sleep before the cleanup team arrives. I had to let my guard down, just for a moment. Because after that, everything went wrong. Bastards! Let me go! That's an order! I had
Oh
no
my
idea
God.
where they were dragging me to, but I knew it wasn't going to end well. When suddenly, I heard the shots of a stunner.
Run!
What?
It was Helen. She saved me.
I knew they would come for you.
Seems like you have something to tell me.
Yes, and for that, I'll end up like everyone else. In the oven.
Assistant researcher Helen Sparks said that Peter Cross had been the first to discover the unusual properties of water. The red pool created recombinations from everything that fell into it. The professor started experimenting. During
What?
one
Not what
containment
it
of a
does.
creature from the pool, a fighter died. Yes, the one with the birthmark on his cheek. Mr. Cross took the body and said he would cremate it himself. But a couple of days later, an android creature appeared from the pool, and part of his face was the face of that fighter. All the scientists immediately realized that the professor didn't burn the body of the deceased fighter, but instead threw it into the pool. He began to conduct his own experiments. Peter Cross went crazy, and some scientists refused to work with him. The next day, they disappeared. But why didn't you report this earlier?
The professor has his own laboratory where he conducts his inhumane experiments.
What?
So it was you, Helen?
Have you not seen what they did to the others? I was afraid for my life. That's why I sent an anonymous message to the main office. And during your interrogation, I placed the note secretly.
It turns out that Cross has been stringing me along the whole time? He's insane!
Where are you going?
Well, now he can't escape justice. But the professor's office was empty. No doubt. The personal guard released him. And then I noticed the photo. Damn! It was right in front of my face the entire time? To father, from your loving son. So that's what it was. The deceased fighter was the son of the professor. He's experimenting on his own son? Helen, I have to get into his lab.
It won't be easy.
The mad professor's lab was impregnable.
Do we need to
I
add?
feel like this is something horrible we should have a bingo number for, but it's so bad we don't have a bingo number for it. Is
Well-
there something like forbidden anything on there?
Use of forbidden content.
I don't remember what that is, but I feel like this is forbidden content.
It was mainly put there for using 173 or 3199's pictures.
Oh. Never mind then.
Huh?
I said never mind then. How do we... I don't think there's any, like, little box for it, but goddamn does it feel like it needs one.
Oh, yeah. Character removal. Forgot to click that. Should we do added child abuse since they admitted to, like, experimenting on his own child?
You know what? The child may be an adult, but they were literally experimenting on their dead child before and after death. So, yeah.
It was being guarded by fighters, but it might still be possible to get in. If I don't come back, tell everyone what's going on here. I crawled about 30 meters and found myself right above the professor's
Wouldn't he be
laboratory.
dead?
Oh Lord, what are you doing there? He transplanted tissues from other living organisms onto his own son.
Father, don't torture me. Let me go. Be patient, son. It'll all be over soon. You'll stay here forever.
Just then, I felt that I was
This
putting too
definitely
much
goes under
pressure on
child abuse.
Yeah.
the transfer grill. Ugh, damn it!
Oh, Miss Holt, what a pleasant surprise.
It's over,
I feel
Cross.
like SCP
I know
containers
everything.
Are built better than that. Not containers, but
Yeah.
So much the worse for you, Caroline. Both to the pool. When Michael died, I swore that I would bring him back.
And you threw him into the pool.
Correct. And he returned to me, but he hardly lasted half an hour. Creatures are unstable outside of the pool. They die. I tried everything. I even attempted making my son an android, to little effect. But then I discovered a very rare species of octopus with incredible regenerative abilities. The transplanted mollusk gland will help my son return for good.
Oh my
Think
god.
about it, Peter. Would your son really want this? If there's an ounce of humanity left in you, you won't torment him anymore.
You will never understand the feelings of a father who has lost his son.
I lost my dad, and I know how you feel. But I would never return him this way.
And that is why we are so different.
I believed for a moment that this was the end. And then I heard the noise of helicopters in the sky. Right on time. Mr. Cross, it's pointless to run. It's over.
You don't understand. I am not leaving without my son.
Peter! Crazy old man. He thought he had no other choice. The next day, SCP-354 facility, the Red Pool, was cleared. All documents have been seized, laboratories have been sealed, and employees have been treated with a Class A amnestic. Professor Cross's body was never found. Even after a few days, no one appeared from the pool. But something tells me that this is the calm before the storm, and the Red Pool still has some unpleasant surprises coming our way.
What? Oh, god damn it. I did not click that. You stupid. That was the 354 video.
Removal of characters and license, I would say, is 4 because they didn't keep any of the original characters anywhere.
Added gore or violence.
4. Somehow.
Deviates from the plot of the article.
You already said it earlier, 4.
Yeah. Offensiveness already meant in a video. I think it was... Okay, so we got the skinny boy and child abuse.
And the stereotype of Canadians.
So I guess 3?
I would say, let's mark 4, because that's literally 3 horrible things in one go.
So one of my top favorites is a 0.
I'm sorry. I mean, maybe if there was no skinwalker and it was just child abuse and racism, I'd actually still be a 4. Well,
Yeah.
maybe if it was just the child abuse, it would be a 3.
Yeah.
That just makes it worse, doesn't it? It's like, man, if we just ignore these 2 things, it would still almost be a 4 anyway.
Yeah.